Hello everyone. Today we are studying unit number 2 in our management accounting. The chapter name is ratio analysis. As we earlier discussed in our unit 1, management account is not only related with the keeping the records of the books, but management account is related with the in detail interpretation and analysis of that financial statement. Such that technique and tool used for analysis of the financial statement is a ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is one of the part of the management accounting. The tool that we are using for analysis of the financial statement and to understand better way of the financial statement. There are various ratios in this chapter we are studying. Before we start, what is the meaning of the ratio? What is the meaning of the ratio? Ratio shows any two-term relationship between in the financial statement. For example, the profit is based on the sales as well as profit depends on the marketing expense, right? So any two terms are related with each other and we are showing in some specific financial manner, right? That's called ratio analysis. The ratio analysis are basically in three different ways: simple figure, percentage and rate or times. There is a first is simple figure. Simple figure just like a 2:1, 1:3, right? So 1 is twice than other related term, or 1:3. So one element and the other element is thrice of that first element, right? Second is percentage. There is a basic format that we know: 30%, 40%. For example, 25% profit on a sales. So that there is the obvious meaning of the profit that on sales, directly related with the sales. Out of 100% sales, the 30% is profit, right? The third method is rate or time. Generally, stock turnover are measured in a rate or time, just like 6 times, 7 times, right? The turnover will be increased 6 times or 7 times or 2 times, etc., right? So ratio analysis is present in 3 different ways: simple figure, percentage and rate and time. Generally, turnover are rated on the rate and time basis, right? And this chapter are only focused on a formula. If you know the formula, you can solve the sum. There are many formulas of the different ratios. So basic of the ratio analysis, this chapter is based on only formula. If you know the formula, you can complete or solve any kind of sum, right? Now let's understand the classification of the accounting ratio, which are the ratios we are going to study in this chapter. The traditional classification was the basic. As per the revenue statement ratio, that's based on a profit and loss account or trading account, right? So on the basis of the various revenue statement ratios were there. For example, net profit ratio, gross profit ratio. Second is balance sheet ratio. On the data of the balance sheet, we are finding the ratio that known as balance sheet ratio. Then composite ratio, that means the two statement, the relationship between that two statement, revenue statement and balance sheet, are known as composite ratio, but that is a traditional method. Now on the basis of the function, right, the classification is done and we are going to study all the ratios on the basis of the functional classification. First is the liquidity ratio, in which we are going to study current ratio, liquidity ratio, asset test ratio and etc. Liquidity ratio shows the liquidity of the firm, right? There is a liquidity ratio. Then profitability ratio. Profitability means how business is profitable in a various measurement, right? So it's a profitability ratio in which we are going to study gross profit ratio, net profit ratio, expense ratio, operating ratio, return on employed, return of shareholders fund, debt service coverage ratio, etc. Right? Third is leverage ratio. Leverage means what do you mean by the leverage? Leverage is any extra effort, how input was be how effective, right? So after the minor change in any some financial decision, how much affected to the other term, right? That is called leverage ratio. That is, in leverage ratio we are going to proprietary ratio, debt equity ratio, gearing ratio, fixed capital and fixed asset ratio, and last classification is activity or efficiency ratio. How efficient our business is to find out, that is known as efficiency ratio, in which we are going to study debtors ratio, creditors ratio, total turnover ratio, fixed asset turnover, etc. Right? There is a basic classification: liquidity, profitability, leverage and efficiency ratio. Right? These four classification we are studying in this chapter. First we are starting with the profitability ratio. Based on a profitability ratio, two bifurcation were there. The profit are based on a sales and profit based on a investment. First we are starting with the ratio based on a sales. First ratio, profitability ratio based on a sales. First is gross profit ratio. Basic gross profit, as you all know, out of the trading account we got the gross profit ratio. So what is the formula of the gross profit ratio? Gross profit is equals to gross profit divided by sales into 100. Obviously profitability ratio based on a sales is there, right? So gross profit is related to the sales. The two different terms, a relationship shown in the ratio, right? So gross profit divided by sale into 100, right? Second ratio is operating ratio. Operating ratio is equals to cost of goods sold plus operating expense divided by net sale, right? For the solution of the operating ratio, formula is cost of goods sold plus operating expense divided by net sale. So first we have to find out cost of goods sold. So what is the formula of cost of goods sold is equals to opening stock plus plus purchase expense minus closing stock. How we find the cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is equals to opening stock plus purchase expense minus closing stock. Now what you mean by the operating expense? Which are the expenses are come into the operating expense? So operating expense is equals to administrative expense plus interest plus selling expense. So operating expense come under administration expense plus interest plus selling expense. First we have to find out this two, and this value are put in our formula. Net sale we know, net sale is given. So that is a operating ratio. Operating ratio is equals to cost of goods sold plus operating expense divided by net cells, right? Now third, expense ratio. Expense ratio is equals to expenses divided by sales into 100. There are various specific expense ratio will also be there, just like administrative expense ratio, financial expense ratio, selling and distribution expense ratio, in which if the administrative expense ratio find out, so here what will come? Administration expense divided by sales into 100, right? If we are finding the financial expense ratio, so here what will come? Financial expense divided by sales into 100. Expense can be anything, any specific is given, so we have to find out the specific ratio, but it is a total expenses given, so we just write down the expenses divided by sales into 100. Simple enough. Now fourth one, net profit ratio. Net profit ratio is equals to net profit as per P&L, right, divide by net sales into 100. Simple, net profit divided by net sale into 100. So in the profitability ratio based on a sales, there are basic only four ratios were there: gross profit, operating ratio, expense and net profit ratio. Now profitability based on investment we are studying later, not now. Now we are starting only with the basic ratios that are easy to calculate and understand, right? So now we are shifting to our liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio shows that a liquidity of the business, right? So first in a liquidity ratio is current ratio. So current ratio is equals to current asset divided by current liabilities. As you all know, what are the current assets? Cash and bank, stock, debtors, bills receivable, short-term investment, right? So on short-term loans, short-term advances, all are considered as a current asset. What are included in the current liability? Creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft, unclaimed dividend, provision of the taxation, proposed dividend, all come under current liability. We have to total it of the total asset and total current asset and total current liability, and we put into the formula and we get the current ratio, right? The ideal current ratio is 2:1. Ideal current ratio is 2:1. That means the current asset should be more than a current liability. Current liability twice has a current asset. The ideal current ratio is 2:1. Now liquid ratio. Liquid ratio is equals to liquid asset upon liquid liability. હવે લિક્વિડ રેશિયોનો મતલબ શું થાય કે લિક્વિડ અસેટ કોને કહેવાય ને લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટી કોને કહેવાય? લિક્વિડ અસેટનો મતલબ એમ થાય કે આપણે એઝ સૂન એઝ પોસિબલ બહુ જલ્દી જ આપણે એને કેશમાં કન્વર્ટ કરી શકીએ, બરાબર છે? એવી જ રીતે લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટી જેને આપણે એક્ઝેક્ટ લિક્વિડ એટલે કે કેશમાં કન્વર્ટ ઇઝીલી કરી શકીએ, બરાબર છે? તો કરંટ અસેટમાંથી જ્યારે સ્ટોક માઇનસ કરીએ છીએ, જ્યારે સ્ટોક વેચાય તો કેશ લિક્વિડ થાય, બરાબર છે? તો સ્ટોક એવી વસ્તુ છે કે જે ઇઝીલી કેશમાં કન્વર્ટ થઈ શકતી નથી, કારણ કે જ્યાં સુધી સેલ નહીં થાય ત્યાં સુધી કોસ્ટ કન્વર્ટ થઈ શકશે, કોસ્ટ રૂપીઝમાં કન્વર્ટ થઈ શકશે નહીં, સ્ટોક સોરી. દેટ મીન્સ લિક્વિડ અસેટ ઇઝ ઇક્વલ્સ ટુ કરંટ અસેટ માઇનસ સ્ટોક. એટલે કે જ્યારે આપણે કરંટ અસેટ કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરતા હોઈએ ત્યારે સ્ટોક કન્સિડર કરવામાં નહીં આવે, એને કહેવાશે રિમેનિંગને કહેવાશે લિક્વિડ અસેટ, રાઈટ. એવી જ રીતે લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટી. લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીમાં બેંક ઓવરડ્રાફ્ટ કન્સિડર કરવામાં આવશે નહીં, બરાબર છે. તો લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીમાં બેંક જ્યારે કરંટ લાયબિલિટી કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરશું, એનામાંથી જ્યારે આપણે બેંક ઓવરડ્રાફ્ટ માઇનસ કરી લઈશું ત્યારે આપણે લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીઝ મળશે, બરાબર છે. તો લિક્વિડ રેશિયો ઇઝ ઇક્વલ્સ ટુ લિક્વિડ અસેટ. લિક્વિડ અસેટ કઈ રીતે મળશે? તો કે કરંટ અસેટ માઇનસ સ્ટોક, અથવા તો જે કરંટ અસેટ આપેલા હશે એમાં સ્ટોક ઇન્ક્લુડ ન કરે, બરાબર છે. એવી જ રીતે લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીમાં બેંક ઓવરડ્રાફ્ટ ઇન્ક્લુડ ન થાય, એને કહેવાય લિક્વિડ રેશિયો, રાઈટ. થર્ડ ઇઝ acid test ratio or quick ratio is equals to quick assets divided by liquid liabilities. હવે અહીંયા એસિડ ટેસ્ટ રેશિયો ઓર ક્વિક રેશિયોમાં શું મતલબ કે લિક્વિડ એઝ ઇટ ઇઝ એકદમ જલ્દીથી આપણે કેશમાં કન્વર્ટ કરી શકીએ, બરાબર છે. તો કે ક્વિક અસેટમાં થોડાક જ અસેટ્સ આવે છે, જેમ કે કેશ એન્ડ બેંક હોય તો કેશમાં જ કન્વર્ટેડ હોય, અને સેકન્ડ ઇઝ એની માર્કેટેબલ ઓર શોર્ટ ટર્મ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કે જે આપણે ઇઝીલી માર્કેટમાં સેલ કરીને આપણે કેશમાં કન્વર્ટ કરી શકીએ, બરાબર છે. તો એને કહેવાય ક્વિક અસેટ, બરાબર છે. અને લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીઝ એઝ લિક્વિડ રેશિયોમાં જે રીતે લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટી ફાઇન્ડ કરતા હતા એ જ રીતે લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટી આવશે, બરાબર છે. તો લિક્વિડિટી રેશિયોમાં બેઝિકલી 3 આવશે: કરંટ રેશિયો, લિક્વિડ રેશિયો અને એસિડ ટેસ્ટ રેશિયો, બરાબર છે. કરંટ એસેટમાં બધા જ એસેટ આવશે, લિક્વિડ એસેટમાં સ્ટોક નહીં આવે, અને જ્યારે ક્વિક એસેટમાં ખાલી કેશ ઓર બેંક ઓર એની માર્કેટેબલ ઇન્સ્ટ્રુમેન્ટ્સ જ આવશે, બરાબર છે. કરંટ લાયબિલિટીમાં બધી જ કરંટ લાયબિલિટી આવશે, લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીઝમાં બેંક ઓવરડ્રાફ્ટ નહીં આવે, અને આમાં તો બંનેમાં લિક્વિડ લાયબિલિટીઝ સેમ રહેશે, બરાબર છે. તો આ છે લિક્વિડિટી રેશિયો 3 અને પ્રોફિટેબિલિટી રેશિયો 4. આ બેઝિક અને મોસ્ટ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ફોર્મ્યુલા છે ને ઇઝી છે, બરાબર છે. હરેક સમ છે, કોઈ પણ 16 અથવા તો 17 માર્ક્સમાં સમ પૂછાય છે તો મિનિમમ 7 to 8 તમને રેશિયોઝ ગણવાના હોય છે, બરાબર છે. એનામાંથી ગ્રોસ પ્રોફિટ રેશિયો, નેટ પ્રોફિટ રેશિયો, કરંટ રેશિયો અને લિક્વિડ રેશિયો આ મોસ્ટ આઈએમપી છે કે જે બધા સમમાં હશે ને હશે જ. કોઈ પણ નાનો સમ હોય, મોટો સમ હોય, કોઈ પણ સમ હોય, આ 4 અને આ 3 ટોટલ 7માંથી 3 રેશિયો તો પૂછાય જ છે, એટલે આ રેશિયો બહુ જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. આના ઉપરથી સમ આપણે કેવી રીતે કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરશું એ આપણે નેક્સ્ટ વિડીયોમાં જોઈશું, બરાબર છે. થેન્ક યુ.